In the small town where I grew up, school and church events were the center of our community life. And I can remember, as a small girl, clinging to the chain link fence at the football games and watching that marching band and the twirlers. And one night, every season, the lights would go out at halftime, and those girls would do the magical. They would twirl fire. And there was one very visible role with the band, and that was the drum major. And how I dreamed that one day that might be me. Well, my dream came true, and I was so proud and so excited. Drum majors go to camp to learn all those things that they need to know to lead the band. And so I went, and as we assembled, the first thing that the camp director said was this: there are 4 kinds of drum majors, and I ranked them from good to bad. First, there are tall males. Then there are short males. You see where this is going? Then there are tall females, and last, there are short females. Well, I got the message. In the eyes of that expert, I didn't measure up. Years later, I became superintendent in a district in Texas, and at that time, there were only 23 other women in that role. When I was hired, I wasn't fully aware of the significance of those numbers, but I soon came to realize the huge impact that my success or failure would have for the women who would come after me. I had to get it right. So I hadn't been superintendent very long, and early one morning I heard a commotion out in the office, and I ran to my door, and I saw a very agitated man yelling, "I heard there were a bunch of women running this school district, and I couldn't believe it. I had to come and see for myself." So that's the thing about discrimination, isn't it? Those messages that you get that somehow you don't measure up, or somehow you don't belong here. So I've learned a thing or two from these experiences and others. I've learned that there are skills and personal attributes that you favor and you strengthen and you use to build relationships and trust, to help you determine what matters most, and that sustain you when things get really hard. And I'd like to highlight a few. You've got to have a North Star to sustain you, to guide you. Those aspirational goals that embody your beliefs and values that stay constant over time. That's your personal vision. Can you see things from another person's perspective? If you can, then you can understand how people may believe and think and feel the way that they do. That's empathy, and it's closely related to observing and listening. My father was deaf, and I learned at an early age the importance of choosing words carefully to communicate, and I realized what a gift that was. And thank you for your service. Willingness and vulnerability open you to risk and uncertainty. Can you let others see you do things that are hard and uncertain? Can you admit it when you make a mistake? If you can, people will see that you're authentic, and they will learn to trust you. Here's another thing that I know. I was born into a white, middle-class Christian family. If I'd been a little girl born into poverty or a race or religion that were not the mainstream, my life and career would have been very different. Although there are many more women in the superintendency now than back when I was serving, there are only 18 Latina and 4 African American women serving in that role. It is about access. Access is life-altering. So, what messages have you received in your life? Were they messages that lifted you up to dream all that could be? Were they messages that put limitations on what was possible for you? What messages do you send? Thank you.